Bethesda games have no shortage of Easter eggs, and Starfield is no different. I'm going to show you all the different Earth locations that you can get to from the books, and all the different snow globes you can collect for your collection in the game. Let's get into it. Now I want to start at a location where you can find two of the books that you need for these exact locations on Earth right off the bat. You want to make your way to the Cheyenne system, more particularly Aquila City. Now if you don't know where the Cheyenne system is, I'm showing it you here, but it is one of the more major places that you'll go and visit. But I want you to make your way to Sinclair Books in Aquila City. What I want you to do is go to talk to the Sinclair owner, and she's going to have a very large variety of books that you can buy from her. Now most of these are not going to really be all that helpful, but there are going to be a few that I want to cover with you. That way you don't have to search for them inside of the overworld. First one I want to cover is Oliver Twist. Now this one's pretty easy to find in the overworld of Starfield, but it's not super easy, so this is a pretty easy spot to actually get the book, and it doesn't cost a lot. Now with all of these different locations, you're going to have to find these books and then read these books, which will then give you a side quest that you can go and actually visit these locations on Earth. So for example, Oliver Twist, as soon as you read it, it will give you the mission to go and see this London landmark on Earth, which is very helpful because as soon as you actually go to that side mission, it gives you a direct route that you can automatically jump to. No going into space and needing to boot up your grav drive necessary. Now, as you're seeing, as soon as you actually start to land at this location, you will be able to see the actual landmark. Unfortunately for the London Tower, for me, it was at night, so it was a little difficult to see, but if you go back during the daytime for some of these locations, it looks really, really nice. But you'll also notice as you're tracking the side quest that there's a little beacon on the side of here, and this is going to be at every single location. This particular beacon is going to show you the exact location of those snow globes that I was telling you about, and every single one of the locations on Earth from these books is going to have one of these unique snow globes. So for the London landmark, it was clearly just the actual London snow globe, which is actually kind of adorable when you start and taking a look at it. Every single one of these locations have them. I have them displayed in my house. They're actually kind of nice. They can also sell for a lot at the Trade Authority. Just keep that in mind. The second book in Sinclair's books inside of Aquila City is The Ancient Civilization of Egypt. Now I have not found this book anywhere else besides this bookstore, so keep that in mind if you're trying to find it in the overworld. Now this one gets you all the way to Cairo with the Great Pyramids. Now the pyramids are in a little bit of a bad shape as people have left Earth. Again, with these books you'll actually be able to go and explore them, and I think it's able to go to all three of them. But of course, every single one of these you will be able to see the actual beacon. You can go and get the very specific snow globe that goes along with each of these landmarks. The Cairo one's pretty cool. It's one of the more open looking snow globes, but this is number 2. And the third book I picked because it's really close to Earth where you'll be after you just go to the actual pyramids. You want to make your way over to Titanton New Homestead. This is where you'll find a particular journal. Now once you're at New Homestead, make your way to the basement segment as I'm showing you here, and on one of the shelves you'll actually find his journal, which will give you the Hong Kong landmark location. And this monument looks awesome in the daytime, especially because it has the Milky Way right above it. But you're not here for that. You're also here for the snow globe, which is not too far, with the beacon right next to it. Now the snow globe is also pretty cool. I just enjoy collecting these personally, but it's another one in your belt. On to the next location. Which brings us back to a location we go back to very constantly. It is the lodge back on Jemison and Alpha Centauri. Now I want you to follow the pathing that I'm showing you here because it's a more particular room than you probably would normally visit whenever you go to the lodge, since I know personally I don't explore these rooms all that much. But you're going to go to this particular room and you're actually going to find Sir Livington's second journal. Now what it's going to take you to is Apollo landing site on the moon, which is actually really kind of cool because they almost did a 1-to-1 replica around it. I know that they have the US flag sitting on there as well, but the actual snow globe, as you'll see by the marker, is actually going to be on top of the actual lander itself, which is kind of cool at the same time because again, it's a almost 1-to-1 ratio of the actual moon landing. It's also a nice little touch in the actual snow globe. They completed the moon lander. They had the flag on there and 2 astronauts. But on to the next location, which can be found back on Jemison in the Mass District, and you're going to specifically go to hang out with the president. So you want to make your way into the Mass District, over to the UC building, and go to the central command floor and make your way over to the president's office, which is to the right of the elevator. You'll find it very easily. It's labeled. But go and grab Our Lost Heritage book. This is going to get you to the New York City monument, which again looks way better in the daytime, but also don't forget your snow globe. This particular snow globe, just like a regular one, but it has a lot more detail on it and covers a lot more of New York City than some of the other snow globe of the city that they're in. But nonetheless, next place, which will be in the Prima system, going to a very particular spaceship. Go to the Prima Artemis system, which is not too far from the Olympus and Alpha Centauri system. You're going to want to get onto the ECS Constant, which is a ship that is primitive with older generations of humans. It's a long story, there's a side mission all about it, but I want you to follow the actual pathing I'm showing you here because this ship has a lot of different twists and turns. Go through the actual botany area where they're growing all their plants, go the elevator, hit the command level. As soon as you get out, go back to where all the plants are, down this hallway to a different location where there's a different mess hall and classroom. Go in the classroom and you'll find this Essentials of Modern Macroeconomics in the back, and this will bring you to the Shanghai location, which is also really cool. Again, in the daytime. I always seem to have these different locations and recorded them during the night, but nonetheless, make sure you grab your snow globe, which again is a very nice touching one. Covers a lot about Hong Kong, but not as much detail as some of the other ones. Now, the next book location can actually be found during the Where Hope is Built mission for the Freestar Collective. Now, if you don't want to go through this, I'll show you the actual location anyway, but this certainly helps you find the location that much easier, which is on Palvo in the Valo system. The Valo system is not too hard to find. It's near some of the earlier level star systems, right near the Cheyenne system. So make your way to Hope Town. It'll be an easy landmark to find. Make your way up to the actual owner's location. You will find the Hope Family Tree book sitting on his desk, which is easier to find when you go inside one of the main buildings. He's on the very top level, as you can imagine, for a CEO suite. I always recommend quick saving before stealing something because there's a lot of eyes in this room in particular. So once you actually get it and read it, it'll take you to one of the LA landmarks. Now there's technically two, but this one really just is particular about Los Angeles landmarks. So we were able to make your way here from the Hope Family Tree book, and thankfully the actual snow globe is not too far either, right at the base instead of on the other side of the building. Another cool landmark. Let's move on to the next location and the next book, which will bring you to Neon, more particularly Neon Core, because you're actually going to have to steal a key card to get into a penthouse for Benjamin Bayou, who is the owner and I think the technical government official for Neon. Make your way to the Astro Lounge, and what you want to do when you get in there, you see the guys dancing in the weird costumes. Make your way over to the VIP elevator and make your way up. What you're going to do, as soon as you do that, you see the guard, make your way down to the very last VIP lounge that you can find on the technical left side. If you're looking at the elevators, the right side, just find this guy in one of the VIP lounges. If you don't have the thief skill yet, I highly recommend you get it, because that's how you're going to get this penthouse key. And the penthouse is really easy to find. As soon as you exit the Astro Lounge, make your way to the left and find the first elevator. Once you get to this elevator, you'll obviously be able to go to Benjamin Bayou's penthouse. Inside of his penthouse, make his way up the stairs to the right, all the way down to where you see his desk in a back corner. Really nice room as well, but you'll find the actual book you need, The Price of Destiny, on his desk. This book will point you to the location of the St. Louis Arch, and I gotta tell you, I got this at the perfect time of day on Earth during the sun cycle. It looks awesome. Highly recommend on any of these locations. If you can take a picture, I really think you should. It does a really good job in this game of showing off the picture. You get to this location, obviously you don't want to forget your snow globe on here. I think it's also a really nice one. It's a very simple one, which I always appreciate simple, but let's move on to the next location, which will require you to be part of the Crimson Fleet, because this location in this book is actually going to be on the key. Now, if you don't know where the key is, you have to go to the Crick system. Now, I don't know if there's a way you can get onto the key without getting blasted and not be part of the Crimson Fleet, so this might be a little harder to get if you don't want to go that path. But I want you to follow the path that I'm showing you here. When you get to the elevators, that will bring you up to one of the main locations, and you want to go to Delgado's room. Obviously, you'll be inside the main hub area where all the computers are. You'll see Delgado right in front of this big lavish room where a lot of meetings look like they're held. Make your way into his actual bedroom. Next to his bed with a couple credits nearby, you'll find the diary that you need to pick up. This will bring you to Osaka, Japan, one of the business centers, I do believe, after reading through the actual diary. Nonetheless, another location that you can go to, way better looking inside of the daytime. Don't forget your snow globe. And again, very simple one. I appreciate all these snow globes personally. I think it's a nice little touch that they added these Easter eggs in here. Let's move on to the final location, which in my opinion will probably be the most difficult to get to, because you have to get onto the Siren of Stars, which only shows up after you go a certain amount of time with the Crimson Fleet storyline. Now, it does show up in the RNA, I'm butchering that name, star system right next to the Olympus system. So if you can get onto this ship without going to this quest line, please let me know in the comments down below how you did it. But if you do get to this point and you're on the ship, make your way to the guest suites as I'm showing you here, and follow the pathing that I'm showing you, because you have to go to a very particular guest room. With the quest line around this, it gives you the background of this guest, but make sure you go to Larry Dombrowski's location in his actual room. This is where you'll find the Race to the Heavens book, which will bring you to the Dubai location and the Burj Khalifa. And I gotta tell you, with with this in the daylight and the star system right above it, this is an absolutely stunning photo and absolutely awesome view. The actual snow globe is really far on the other side, which is somewhat annoying, but it's not too far, thankfully. Another very simple snow globe, and I want to touch on a final location that I'm not covering in this video because it pertains to the main storyline. This final location is at a Florida location after you go through the main storyline and go to a shuttle liftoff at a NASA station. Now, I don't want to cover it because it actually spoils a lot of the actual main storyline around Starfield, so I'm going to keep it off this, but just know, as long as you go through the main storyline and go through the very ending, you will come across this final location and you will be able to find the very final snow globe of the NASA location. Now, I'm a big fan of Easter eggs, especially in Bethesda games, because there are so many, but this is probably a really cool one because everyone wants to explore Earth, especially in a space game. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I'll catch you guys on my next video.